a bird, following the seasons. This is what I've learned. I'm different for a reason. Kept the engine.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new, and welcome back to another video. So it is Crocktober, and today's video is a collab with my friend Amanda from over at Faith Food and Family. I will have a link to her channel in the description box below, as well as her video. So make sure y'all go over and check out her video and her channel. Let her know I sent y'all. And if you're over here from her channel, hello and welcome. I am so happy to have you. So the first recipe we're going to be doing is a cheesy chicken and rice in the crock pot. And I have this big bag of chicken in my freezer that I need to get used up, so I'm going to use that. And some garlic. You'll need onion, so I'm using a little bit of the onion out of this container. Mushrooms, some onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. And then you will also need rice that you'll cook ahead and set to the side. I did that. You'll need some chicken broth, as well as a can of cream of chicken and a can of cream of mushroom soup. So the first thing that I'm going to do is get the cream of chicken and cream of mushroom soup put into the crock pot, and then I'm going to use the chicken broth to kind of use up what I can out of both of these cans. And then we're going to put the chicken in and season it with the paprika. I will have all of these recipe links in the description box below, so y'all can go get the full recipe from there.
Someone to save me, no, and don't come running to blame me. From miles away I can tell that something's off. The way you look and how you pause when you talk, I think I said enough. You said your love for me something brand new. You said this is something you would never do. Here we are.
So once I've mixed all of that up and added the chicken and seasoned it with some onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika, I'm just adding the garlic cloves that I minced up, and then I'm just going to put the lid on it. I believe I cooked it on high for 4 hours, and then you take the lid off and add the mushrooms. Then you will cover it back up and cook it for another 30 minutes or so. And I also baked some of the Sister Schubert rolls. And I took the chicken out and shredded it up. So now I'm just going to be adding the rice that I cooked and set aside earlier. And at that point, I do take mine out because I wanted to eat mine without the cheese because I'm not supposed to have dairy. I do sometimes, but I pay for it. So I added the rice and took mine out. It was really good. I liked it. Of course, it would be better with the cheese because what's not better with cheese? But I went ahead and ate mine without it. And then later you will see me add the cheese before I fixed my boys' plates. And this was mine. It said to garnish it with a little parsley. So that's what I did. And I just ate it with one of the rolls. And this is the cheese that I had in my refrigerator. It is just the Mexican 4-cheese blend. So that's what I added to it, but you can add whatever cheese you like. My boys do not care what kind of cheese it is. So the next recipe is a tortellini soup. The recipe does call for you to use ground sausage, but if you're not new around here, you know that I try to stay away from sausage or anything that affects my high blood pressure. So I'm just using a pound of ground beef, 2 cans of Italian-style diced tomatoes, some chicken broth, an 8-ounce block of cream cheese, some frozen cheese tortellini, and some fresh spinach. So I cooked my ground beef and drained it. I seasoned it with salt, onion powder, and garlic powder. Now I'm just adding everything to the crock pot except for the tortellini and the spinach. So that is the ground beef, the 2 cans of tomatoes, the whole carton of chicken broth because it called for 4 cups. And then instead of cooking this on low for 6 hours, I cooked it on high for 3 hours. And you also put the whole block of cream cheese cut into cubes.
Put up with changes. Come pick me up cause I just wanna see the light. I wanna be weightless. Teach me to fly, I won't be coming down. Could somebody wake me up? I don't wanna be here and let the world pass me by. So now that it's done, I'm just gonna add 2 cups of spinach and the whole bag of the cheese tortellini. And then I'm gonna put the lid back on it and let it cook for an additional 45 minutes. I just see her face wherever I look, she's standing in the crowd. So let go, I don't want to, but I'm gonna try. When she left me, yeah, let a little bit inside. You know, maybe things are gonna be alright. Cause I just wanna see the light. And this is what it looks like when it's done. I fixed me a bowl. I did taste it first to make sure that the tortellini was cooked through, and it was. So I fixed me a bowl of it, and I had cooked a few of the Sister Schubert rolls, and they were so good with it. Of course, this recipe would probably be better with sausage. It would be a lot more seasoned, I feel like, especially the spicy sausage. If you can have hot sausage, or if you like it, it would be so good with that. But I just can't have it, so I had to use ground beef, but it was still good. I do highly recommend this recipe. It will be linked below, and I will be making it again. This next recipe is going to be beef tips and gravy. My Publix did not have a beef chuck roast that was under $30, and that's what the recipe called for. And I'm just not paying over $30 for the meat in this meal. So I picked up 2 large sirloin steaks. They were only like $11. You will also need a can of cream of mushroom soup and some low sodium beef broth. It says after you cut the steak into 1.5 inch cubes that you season it with lemon pepper seasoning. It does say that is optional, but I had this salt-free Mrs. Dash lemon pepper, so I just went ahead and seasoned the steak with it. And you'll need a packet of dry Lipton onion soup mix as well. The first thing that we're going to do is put the cream of mushroom soup and beef broth with the package of Lipton onion soup mix into the crock pot and get that mixed in really well. Someone to save me, no, and don't come running to blame me. From miles away I can tell that something's off, the way you look and how you pause when you now I'm just gonna add the steak tips into it that I seasoned. And again, I did not have 8 hours to cook this on low, so I cooked this on high for 4 hours. And when it was about time for it to be done, I cooked some white rice to eat it on. And I made a side of green beans. These are just canned green beans that I rinsed and drained. And then I put a little bit of chicken broth in them, about a teaspoon of butter, and about a half a teaspoon of this Knorr chicken bouillon. And everything was done. I just put some of the steak tips on some rice. It had instructions in the recipe for you to add a gravy with the broth from this, but I don't care for mine to be like it was, so I did not do that step, but that will be in the recipe that is linked below. We all loved this. It's similar to the steak on rice I make for my youngest son like twice a week. It's his favorite meal, but the steak isn't cooked the same. He's not really used to that tender texture where it just falls apart, so he didn't like it as much, but he ate it. I would cook it again if I was in a pinch for time and wanted to set it in the crock pot for the day. But yeah, it was good. That's going to be the last meal in this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Do not forget to go over and check out Amanda's video in her channel. She is the sweetest lady. I will have all of that linked in my description box below. I love her channel. She also has to watch her sodium intake so I can get any recipes from her channel and know that I will also be able to use the recipe. Our families have very similar taste when it comes to food, so it's very easy for me to take something from her channel and use it for us. If y'all liked my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you all for watching.